I keep seeing so many people talking trash about various different games like they have any kind of stake in the industry. Let's look at Doom the Dark Ages, for example, since that, for whatever reason, is the current hot button topic. A $70 price tag for a game that can be 100%ed in about 20 hours, yeah, that's kind of expensive. People say it's not as good as the previous games, that's valid, but the player numbers don't lie. The game is a success. And this is where the mental gymnastics come into play, because there are people that argue that player number doesn't mean that they bought the game, they're just playing it on Game Pass. Alright, let's go with units sold. Sorry, sales numbers don't reflect refunds, so we can't use that either. We can use player count on SteamDB, but we can't, because remember, player numbers don't mean sales. And Steam numbers don't take into account other platforms which gamers play on, like Xbox and PlayStation. And don't even get me started on those go woke, go broke losers. A lot of these people argue that all they really care about is whether a game is good or not. And I mean, to be fair, it's not like there's a player-driven system that helps to build an overall rating of the quality of a game. Outside of valid criticisms like higher prices, always online requirements, content theft, what is this deeper obsession with the success and failure of development studios? People acting like the stock prices affect their lives in any meaningful way. In a recent interview with PC Gamer, David Grader, who worked on beloved games like Knights of the Old Republic and the first 3 Dragon Age games, argues that this hyper-toxic fixation on the predetermined failure of games only leads to developers minimizing their public presence. In other words, the relationship with the gaming audience. In the long term, this is a net negative for the gaming community because it means that studios are going to less and less often listen to customer and fan feedback. If you run a creative project and all you get back from your audience is negativity, despite successful sales projections, would you listen to them either? Like I said, there is plenty to criticize game studios for. More expensive games don't feel higher quality, microtransactions are annoying, scummy business practices, burnout, and developer mistreatment. There are so many things to dunk on these studios for, but there has to be a line of decency where we collectively understand that criticism has been taken too far. At one point, that used to be harassment and death threats, but seeing as how studios are having to implement fucking boot camps and provide legal counsel in order to help their actors and developers with online harassment, I'd say that we've well stepped over that line. Healthy, good faith criticism of the gaming industry is vital for its continued longevity, but there has to be a level of decency when it comes to how we engage in this conversation. If not, studios will listen less and less to their fans and more to their corporate benefactors. And I think I can speak for most when I say that I'd prefer player-driven input over corporate-driven input any day. Like and follow for more and check @FollowRotoshi on all other socials.